Yeah, we can see the screen.
That's it. Thank you. So today we are going to discuss about the last part about Android GUI element, uh, where we discuss about the different specifically layouts, like few of the layouts we are already using them, like the linear layout, we are doing the practice, and for the fragment as well as how we can create the fragments and how we can create the table layout and the different layouts. Uh, this is, we can say that this is the means last lecture related to the GUI, but in actual, this is not the last because GUI is the most important part of the component of our application. That is, we are required to be used in each and every application from the day first till the day end, or even after this, whatever we will be doing, always we will be required to use that in our all of the applications. But till now, because we try to use these things as we can become a familiar that how GUI can be used and how it can help us to design our application and how we can make them functional and how we can link them with the code. So these were the things that's what we were trying to understand. Just going to continue because this is the part 3, so you can see from the previous parts as well that what are the different views which we used, and you know very much pretty clear about the views and the components and when we call the controls and how they link with each other and how they belongs and what are the classes and the subclasses. That's what we already discussed about that, and you can also see that a couple of things we already use from them as well, and the few more things we will be using today as well to understand it very well. So at the end of the Miss lecture, we will please remind me the two most important things. We will discuss about your midterm exam, and we will discuss about your assessments, the assessment number 1 and assessment number 2. So we spare almost the time of the last 30 minutes for that. So please do remind me. Don't forget about that. It's important to discuss about that as well. So this is a sort of the what we can call is a sort of actually recap that what we have done in the part number 1 and part number 2. So you can see that these are the few different controls that what we are using and how we will be able to use them as well. Now, if we just go for the this slide, so this is what we are mentioning from the previous classes as well, and what we are going to use and what we are targeting to use. So you date picker, the calendar picker, and the time picker. These are the things we will discuss today. The buttons, we already used them, a couple of them, and a couple of the controls, we already used them, and the remaining of the controls, we will be using them, and even we will be using more than these controls that what we mentioned here. As I mentioned, that GUI cannot be finished in 1, 2, or 3 lectures, but it is the base where our any of the application actually resides. So that's why it will be always whatever the application we will be designing, it is always linked, and importantly, it is the part without the GUI it cannot be. Okay, but these 3 lectures we just try to come up in a way as you can be familiar how to see them and how we are doing, and more applications we will be discussing and more examples we will be discussing in our upcoming classes as well. But now after finishing that one, I hope that this will be pretty familiar now for you that how you can use them and means what you are doing in the different tasks for your labs, and what we will be suggesting a few things today as well, as you will come back after the next week, because the next week is the independent learning. That's what we discussed at the end of the in the last 30 minutes as well, and then we will be trying to start about the database connectivity and how we can see the MySQL, and we will jump to the a bit more advanced concepts, because we know that this is a semester system, so we have a limited time, so we will try to learn as much as we can. So going ahead, so here we can see that today we are means focusing about the layout managers. As you know that we are already using the different layouts. We already used the linear layout, and one of the tasks was given for the means fragment task was the also for the related to the one of the type or one of the sort of the layout. Uh, Most of you were not able to finish that one, and not an issue, that is understandable. So we will try to go with the some of the layout today, and we'll try to show you that how you can be able to play or how you can handle with the fragment layouts as well. It's pretty simple. We can use it in multiple ways. So you can see that how it is, and that what we would be going to let you know. And then later you can be able to use that for your assignment number 1 and assignment number 2 as well. So the Android layout, as if you remember that we already discussed, that actually how the things are going to be look on the device, are within the activity, how we are going to organize and arrange the things in the mobile application. That is actually known as the layout. Now you remember the linear layout is there, table layout is there, fragment layout is there, and center layout is there. There are so many different layouts are there. So we are trying to arrange our application. We can see that how and where we can place. This depend on the need of the application. This depend on the requirement of the application, that what type of application we are using. We are not. It's not free to choose. We are free to choose, but we have to be careful about the application requirement as well. So the apps can be used in the landscape or in portrait orientation as well. How to ensure that the apps has the expected look and feel on the different devices, and they are better. So this is how the layout managers are actually helping us a lot to keep these things up to date. How an app can properly position, and how the controls can be properly positioned, and how the display we want, where the display we want, and how the output or input we want. That is all can be arranged using the different sort of the layouts. We will discuss the few of the examples of the layouts as well, so we can see that how they make sure that our application is running smoothly with a high scalability and with the high quality and high performance. This all is actually linked with the layout managers. So now where we go, so we can see that there are many layout managers. Means it's not only one or two or three which are supported by the Android SDK, but most of them we are not using all the time. Most of them they are application specific. For example, the layout what we require to means configure or link the APIs for the YouTube, that will be a different. Normally we don't use it. The API or what the layout what we need to use the Google Map. We will use the Google Map in our upcoming applications after the database handling. So you can see that what are the different layouts what it require. So from this, it's clear that the layouts are actually related to the application, that what type of application we are using. So according to that, the layout can be changed or could be changed accordingly. So in the Android API, layout managers are categorized in view group because they contains the other views such as button views. This is the same sort of the recap that what we discussed in our previous lectures as well. So now we can go that we can combine the multiple layout managers to design your GUI as well. So again, going back, focus to the same point that what we discussed, that this is depend on the application, that what type of application we are designing. Based on that, based on the application requirement, we can go to choose the best fit layout manager. Okay, going ahead. So now you can see from here that there are the different layout managers, like suppose for the absolute layout manager, where we can place the controls in a position which are apart from each other with the absolute reference. Okay, and then it extends to the view group, and it just belongs to the Android, and this is the all same things that what we discussed in our previous classes as well. So you can see from here the absolute layout, what it is, and when we can be using that one. Simple. So from here you can see the absolute layout is actually how we are keeping and what type of application we are using. So you can see this is how it is organized. If suppose we are using the absolute layout, so we can place any button, any control or any components at any particular place, wherever, whatever it is required. Okay, and you have already the means options that what we did for the previous one with the means linear layout as well. And this is in absolute, we say that the position of the controls will be absolute with reference to the means other controls. So we can control, make them accurately. So now this depend on the requirement, what type of application we are looking for, or what type of application we are planning for. So based on that, we normally choose the layout. And in some of the cases, we can choose even the multiple layouts within the activity as well. Now, Android GUI elements means in absolute what and how we can place. They are placed and they specify with the exact location in the X and Y coordinates using X and Y coordinates. So it is truly simple. We may not means put the more time and to discuss about that. This is pretty clear from its name that is an absolute layout. It means that the positions of the controls from each other, they are with the exact reference, what we can say with reference to the X and Y coordinates. So we can place them means at any exact location. Not only means what we were doing in the linear layout, we were saying that put the left and right and in the center. I would put means this much lower from the top and this much higher from the bottom and like that. But in this, we can exactly know what exactly coordinates will be from x-axis and what exactly the coordinates from the y-axis, and we can put for any of the control. So that is the main difference. That's the main thing which is linked with the absolute layout. Now going ahead, we can see that the next one is the linear layout. So the linear layout, that's what we are already that's what we are already using since our means different applications. In linear layout, actually the controls, they are organized with reference to means in a linear format with each other. So going ahead, you can see that this is the linear layout. So from this, you can understand that how it is. Either we are using this in vertical orientation, or we are also using in the horizontal orientation. That's what we are already using. So you can see from this that they are means in line with each other, organized with each other in the linear format. So linear format, whatever the format we are choosing, either it's vertical or either it is horizontal. That's not a means issue, but that can be done accordingly. So this is how. So in this linear layout, we cannot say about their absolute position. This we can use the available position within what we can call activity that we can use at any other place. Now you can see the further that we are using the directions of the rows. Okay, that can be set by calling the set orientation. So we are doing that one, and then we are means using the set gravity. That in the gravity we are saying keep them as what we discussed a couple of minutes before. We can say that keep it left, keep it right, keep it up, keep it down, keep it center. So you remember we already discussed this in the multiple examples as well. So we are doing handling with the derivative, but we are organizing them in a linear format, and we can do that their orientation in horizontal or in the linear, both of the format. So all children of the linear layouts are stacked in one after the other. So vertical list will be only have one child per row. So means that will be the first child, and then we are seeing map with parent, and then we are going ahead like that. So no matter how wide they are, and a horizontal list will only be one row, and then the height of the means child and whatever the padding what we are doing, that will be means with reference to the parent one, and they will be organized in the linear format based on the orientation what we are choosing. Either it is the horizontal orientation or either it is the vertical orientation. That's not a big deal. Then we go for the grid layout. So you can see from the grid layout that where we are placing the controls in the form of the grid. So now they will be means that components are the controls with reference to each other, but they are placed in a grid format. So you can see from this that these all of the layouts, they are very simple. We are just arranging the components how we can. In one, we are putting means with the absolute means reference distance from each other. In other, we are saying that they will be in the linear format from each other, either in vertical or either in a horizontal format. And now when we are discussing about the grid layout, so we are saying that we are going to place them in the format of the grid. So not to be worried about that, not to be scared from this. This is a simple concept for organizing our controls, that how we are organizing our controls and where we are placing them. That is actually the means linear. Sorry, that is actually the layout. So we call them as a layout manager, and then we just name them and have the different types, and then we say that which type based on our requirement where what we are using that one. So in a grid layout, you can see this is the example. Suppose this is the way our application is requiring, like in this format, then we will use this one. Are we are designing any means calculator and full calculator, then we can be able to use the linear layout or something. Or we are just trying to means make any hotel website or any means for touring website where we just want to show the so many pictures or so many information in the cascade format or in the tabular format or in the grid format, so user can have the more information at the same time from the screen. Like from these examples, you can see that in that particular case we can use the grid layout. So now we are going more further about that. Nothing is important in this. So as the suggest, this class will use allow the child views to be arranged in a grid layout. So rather to go in a more detail that how it will be going to arrange, as we know from the grid that it will be in the rows and columns, and they will be having the same spaces, and they will be referencing with each other. The rows and columns could be, we can arrange the components in the horizontal and vertical, both of the formats, as we can, cite from the previous example as well. So rather to what we can say, that put the more time on this, because these are the simple things. We are just trying to go ahead as we can get the more benefit from doing the examples to understand the things well. So the grid layout, again, we use in this as well. The gravity, we can put the control where it is in the grid, either in the center, either whatever the position we can define. So you know for the gravity that we are setting the position of the control components, where we can place them, or we also do the row span and the column span as well. So arranging the spaces for the rows and the columns in this as well. So again, this is the same concept and simple concept in the grid layout as well, and we can arrange them from left to right and right to left, or top to bottom or bottom to left, but we will need to they arrange them in the sort of the grid or in the tabular format what I showed to you. So again, simple. We're just going ahead, and now we're coming with the frame layout. So in a frame layout, again, the things we are fixing them, keeping them in a frame layout, and it's better that you can see the example about the frame. So you can see from here, now we have the activity, and we can define the different frames. So the frames can be at any corner, can be horizontal, can be top, can be bottom, can be at any place. So we can place the frame, and then we can use the controls inside that. Now you can see that the frame layout should be used to hold a single child view. In each of the frame, we can have the single child view pattern, and it can be difficult to organize the child views in the other pattern as what we notice now. So in this, what we can say that we are dividing our activity, our frames, our activity into the different frames. So we can use the frame layouts, we can use the multiple layouts, we can use the one layout, and inside the layout, that means we can use the other layout as well. So again, the point is the same that what we discussed. As I told you, that in these things, we are just trying to make sure that how things are actually organized. That's our primary requirement, and that's our primary goal. So because these are simple, so we are not trying to invest more time on that. We're trying to have more time so we can utilize it for more fruitful and the code and the other parts. Okay, so we are going ahead. So you can see from here, now it is the relative layout. So absolute layout, frame layout, tabular layout, linear layout. So there are so many different layouts. That's what we discussed already. So now this is relative layout, where we are in absolute layout, we are placing the control components at a very absolute exact position with reference using the X and Y. But here in the relative layout, they will be, the controls will be placed from each other, components will be placed from each other with the relative information or relative position of the other control. So you can see from this one that the red, orange, yellow. So this is the row, and down you can see the green, blue, and the indigo. So these are the controls, but they are placed in the relative layout. So this is means if suppose they are in a grid layout, then we can see that how it looks different. If suppose they are in a linear layout, then how it could be different. If suppose they are in absolute layout, then the dealing with them will be different. So this is how the linear layout is there. Sorry, relative layout is there. So in the relative layout, again, we are placing the controls. It means they have the relation from each other. So how and where the first control is placed, and how and where the second control is placed. So how relatively where they are placed from each other. So simple. We're just going ahead. Uh, there are so many different other layouts as well. But most of the time, we don't use all of the layouts. Most of the time, the most commonly used layouts are the tabular layout, fragments, and the linear layout that what we are using most of the time. That is the very popular layouts, because most of the applications, they they fulfill the requirement for that. So going ahead, now you can see from the table layout. So this is the table layout. This is very close to the layout that we just discussed about the grid layout. So in this layout, you can see that how we can place the controls. So this is in the table layout. You can see that how this is in the form. So what is the difference between this layout and the other layout? In this layout, you can see the row number 1 and row number 3, and that is different from the row number 2. But if suppose we say that if it is a grid layout, so then it means the structure will be in a grid like the same like what we have in row number 2. So in the table layout, we can have the different sizes, and we can arrange the same like the table what we are using actually. So you need to understand that how it is different from the grid layout. So I hope we try to go a bit speedy, because these things were very simple and truly simple, no doubt in that. So as we can save the time, so we can go towards the our code part, and we can understand, and we can see that how these layouts we are using. So once when we reach here, so now today we are planning to have the layout to be used, that is the fragment one. So first of all, we need to understand that what is the fragment. So it is better if suppose I run the application for you and show you the output, then you will be able to understand it more clearly. Like suppose, just 1 minute, I just run this one so you can see this one easily. And then we will go to prepare that, and we will see it how these things are going to work for us. I hope that you are able to have my screen. Yeah, it is taking a time. It will take a bit time just because of the first time I try to log machine already and open these things already as you can, so we can save our time. So please do the practice as much as it is possible, because I hope you're aware about that practice makes the man perfect. So this is really important for any other programming language. We need to have a lot of practice. You can use the upcoming next week to utilize it in a more better way to prepare yourself well. So now you can see from here a simple means fragment. This is the fragment A, and this is the fragment B. So this is our target. We can go for that one, but we need to see that how it is. It's very simple. It's very easy. Not to be worried about that. This is the first of our goal. The second goal is that how we can make the APK of our application. That's our second target today. After this theory part, and the third, we will see that how the time picker is working, and I will means I try to means prepare the one of the program. I will share the program with you, that program with you, because I know that the time will not allow to finish all these things, and that's why I try to put all of the comments inside that, as you can understand what it is. And intentionally I try to means make a minor what we can call the error in one thing, only in error in one line you can see. Even I just can give you the full hint. So two of the functionalities, the one functionality is working, and I will show you, and then you can see, and then you can do the brainstorming and you can fix that one. The easy part and the hint is that the second part is almost the same according to the first part. So you just need to go through and understand, and then you will be able to make it done. So that will be the thing, and what we will be discussing the more things as well, just to engage you in the more and more in the practice. I know that you are doing the good practice as well. That's really good, but we are trying to get the as much as benefit from this as much it is possible. So this is actually the fragment A and fragment B. So what is the fragment? You can see that this is the two parts of the screen. So in other words, we can say that this is actually the same, the screen we call activity. So please follow my mouse pointer. So you can see that this is the whole screen is actually known as the activity. And in this, what we are doing, we are dividing the screen into two parts. So now it means that we can place the different controls here and different controls here. This means that this part, fragment A, will be dealing as separately as an independent activity. Like you can say, the functionality of fragment A could be like an independent activity, and fragment B will be like an independent activity. So in other words, just to be very simple and easy from where you can understand the concept and things, that is, it means we can say the one activity we divided into two parts, or we can say we divided one activity into two activities which can be functioning properly, equally like the two activities. So this could be known, this concept could be known as the fragment concept. And there is no limit that we are only means going to add the two fragments. We can add multiple fragments as well. So in other words, I can may repeat it for you, which is the most important point is that the fragment is means handling or dealing the same, behaving same like activity. So when we are saying that if it is the same like behaving like the activity, then it means you know the one thing you might notice from the day first. That is what, that whenever we have the activity, whenever we run any program, whatever the application you write in your Android, always you have one activity in it. I hope you are pretty clear about that, because without activity we cannot do anything. And it is very much essential that whenever we have the activity, for each activity, you notice that always we have the class file, and also we have the layout file, which is the XML file. If you don't remember, so I can show you from here. If you just go to the Java, and if you just go to this one and you just see that how and where the file is. So this is the main activity file. And when we go to the means resource folder, so you can see, and in the layout folder, so you can find that this is the activity main. So this is means whenever what we mean that if suppose we have the activity for that particular, we will have the class file as well as we must have the means XML file. Then only it will be completed. Means this set is complete. Then only we can say that this is the active means activity. This is the most important part we need to understand. So what I was trying to explain to you, that while we are means running this one, and now if you just allow me to run, now it will not take more time, it will be quick. So while we are running to the application, so you notice that in the application, the same activity is actually divided into the two parts. So this means now fragment A and fragment B, they both are actually dealing like an activity. So we don't want to say just only that this is means dealing like an activity. It means that this is the one activity and this is the another activity, just for your understanding. And actually it is the one activity, but then we divide it into two fragments, but they now start behaving like the full-fledged activity. So if this is the case, in that particular case, we can see that either they are fulfilling the requirement that what we are saying for each of our previous applications, always whenever we have the activity, we must have the means XML part for that as well. So now we are just going back and we see if suppose we have the two fragments, fragment A and fragment B. So in that particular case, we can see that how and is it true or not. So you can see from here in the class file, we have the main activity. At the same time, we have fragment B and fragment A as well. It means now we have two more class files as well in the fragment. So like for this, likewise, in the main activity, we have the XML part in the same pattern. We must have the fragment B and fragment A XML part as well. If we don't have, then it means then we cannot claim that they are independent like an activity. So you can see from here, this is the fragment A layout and this is the fragment B layout as well. So now you can see from here, they are equal and parallel in behavior like activity. So that's why they have the full-fledged set of information so they can be means able to handle, they can be able to means work out, they can be able to means do the everything the same like the activity. In actual, the fragment is not a full-fledged activity, but it is behaving like a full-fledged activity. This is the most important part you need to understand. And while we are using the fragments, we can means use the one fragment as well. If suppose we just means delete one of the fragment and we just apply the one fragment in the layout. So this can be the activity, whole activity can be able to handle like a one only means fragment like a one activity. But we can add the more means fragments, two fragments or three fragments, and even more than two. This is means not an issue as well. So now you can see that fragment is also a layout. So you remember in the theory part, what we were discussing, we said that we can use the different layouts or we can use the combination of the different layouts. So today what we will be doing, we will be using the linear layout and then on top of that, we will be using the fragments as well. So now this is the task first what we are going to do. Then we will see that how we can means build the application APK, because then you will be doing whatever the tasks you are receiving in your lab sessions or after the theory session, whatever we are suggesting. So you can means do the everything rather to means share the complete entire code and these things rather to share the screenshots. Now in future you can just only share your APK file that will be means copied, paste, and means installable in the cell phone like what we are doing. So it will be very light file and then we will be able to see the output about that particular file. That would be our second task. And the third task is that we will be see that how we are dealing with the time picker as well. So now we are going for this. So be ready. If you are ready, you can open your machines and you can do while I will be explaining to you, we can do it together. So you can see that this will be a very truly simple thing about the fragment. So don't you means be impressed from this one that this is something very big, but you can see that this will be something which is very simple as well. So the time starts now and we are just going to means use that one. So just start your machines, take a few minutes. So here we go. So now we are ready. We are going to close this application and we are going to start our application. So here we can go. Yes, here we can say close project. So you can see that project is closed. Now we are going for the new application. Okay, so we can choose the empty and we can say the next. As I mentioned always to you that you have to be very much careful while you are selecting this minimum SDK, like one of the student was facing the problem. And also you have to be very much careful about the naming as well. But because for me, I will just means doing this just to for you to understand. Later I just delete them so I can see anything. So I can see it's FFF, which is the means for mentioning for the fragment, or I can see FRD, whatever it is, just to differentiate from the others. So we can say finish, then it will go, and we need to wait. Now is the right time to take a water, rather to means took it before. So I'm taking water. Okay, be with the patients. be with patience and keep looking for this one. Once the gradle is done, the automatic sign is that this is expanded one will be means automatically organize arrange. You see now this is arrange. So now you can come down and you can see that everything is done. So don't do anything until it is going to be done, or even you can wait for a few more seconds. We'll see what is happening here. So now if you just go here, so you can see from here that at this moment in the layout you have this activity and you have this main Java class file. Now your time starts to come up with the different fragments. So it's very simple. First of all, what you need to do, you just go to add the class file. So you can just right click on this one. Okay. And what you need to do, you need to right click. So we can right click here. Then you need to go to the new, and then we need the class file. Why? Because we want to add the fragment. Now, how many fragments we want to add? The same number of the classes we need to add. So you need to do remember. But don't try to add in a one way randomly like 1, 2, 3. You just go, that's what you will see, that we will go in a pattern. So it will be more efficient way where you will not be even required to write the more part of the code and confuse yourself. So you just go step by step. So here I can show you again that we are right clicking on that, and remember where we are right clicking. Okay, I'm not clicking on the main Android or the app, but I'm clicking here. Why I'm mentioning this? Because I will do that after some minutes as well. So you need to know the difference in that as well. So from here we can click to the new, and then we can go to the Java class. So this will be what we are adding. Either we are adding a class or interface or annotations or whatever we are adding from the list that we have to select, because we already selected from here Java class. So by default it will be selected as the Java class. So now here you are going to give the name of your first class. So say for example we are saying fragment, whatever the name you want to give, it's up to you. We can say the fragment A. Okay, it's because we want to add A and B, like what we right now had an experience. We are trying to create the same thing. Now when we done with this one, we just enter and just see that what happened. Now this is from the list you can see, and fragment A class is added. There's no fragment B class is added. Okay, but that is added there. So now this will not work, because you remember that the fragment is actually need to be extended to the superclass. That is simple and easy. So we can say extends to what? The superclass for this one is the fragment itself. So we can say, okay, here below is the fragment. So now it is done. So class is done. Whatever the code or whatever the thing is required, that we will see it later. But now we can see that this fragment thing is complete. Now we need to create the fragment layout file. So how we need to create the fragment layout? Because now in the first attempt, we are going to create the first part, the first fragment, the one fragment, and then we will go for the next fragment as well. So for adding the fragment layout class, so where we need to go for layout, the layout is in the layout folder. So you can come here and then you can right click again on this one. Okay, then you just go to the new, and then you can come here and see from here, this is the layout resource file. I'm going very slowly as you may not miss anything. You need to understand the things. So this is the layout resource file. You can see from the list the other files not, but we are looking for the layout. That's why you just click to this one. Once you will click to this one, and it will appear in front of you, this dialog box. Okay, so by default you are not supposed to do anything. You are just provide the name of your fragment. So you can see that we are providing a name, fragment, and underscore A, it means it belongs to the fragment A. And what is this? This is layout. Name you can give any name, that's not an issue. And then you can say okay. That's it, very simple. So once you are done with this one, you can see that the fragment A layout class is added, and this is automatically fragment is means with you the UI design part. And if you suppose go to the split part, so you can see the code it contains, but the code does not have the more information, and we are not required for any of the more information at this stage. Okay, now what you need to do, you just go back to the design part, and then here now today you will learn one more thing as well. That's what you remember, that you was using the controls by writing the XML part, and now you can see that we can try to add the controls as well by using the design part as well. So now what you need to do, place the text view in the fragment A. So you can see from here, text view, this is the text view. Okay, so you can just go and click this one and place it in between of the center or somewhere. So you can see that this will guide you that what is the center, especially from the viewpoint. So you can see this is the text view. Okay. Now after the text view, once you are added by dragging and drop. So if suppose, just for your understanding, if I just go back and just see from here, so you can see here the text view, Android ID is text view and blah blah, and rapid contents and these tools and this information is by default. Simply it is added for you by the Android. So previously we are supposed to means write the code for this one as well. Normally we do write the code because whenever we are adding this one, so it is adding only in the default setting with the default code. So when we have the specific requirements, at that time we can go means to write it that, and then we are means normal we have a practice, so we are doing and adding that part as well. Now what happened, like suppose we added this one, now we can means do the sum of the properties, and we can means make the sum of the changes. Okay, so now what are the changes, like suppose, so for example in the text, this is means showing something text view. So you can come up from here, the moment you will click on this position, you will see that this is disappear. But when you click from this one, you will find a lot of properties. So you can see here in this one means you can see the fragment one, fragment fragment one, or fragment A, or double A, or whatever you want to say. So this is actually the caption for this one. Now we don't need only the caption, but we need actually to make its size bigger and everything. So you can see from here, these are the more properties. If suppose we go here, this is the background and the text and drawable and options and icons and so many. That's what I was telling you from the day first, that you can please play with this one. So you can see that you can means change the properties, and you can do that one. So now you can see here, this is the text is the text view, and now the text alignment, suppose you want to place the alignment, you can see the text and gravity, whatever it is. So when we call the gravity, it means it will place the center. And what is the means color, so we can use the color. You can see from here, for example, we are using the blue color or something, whatever color you like most. I like the blue color, so that's why I'm using the blue color. And what else, the else is actually maybe the other properties. If suppose you want to change, and I know this is okay, highlights okay, text color, text, maybe the text size we can means increase. Maybe we can press it 30 sp, so it will be a little bit big, and it is the normal one. We can means keep means clicking on this one, so you can means select any other option, whatever the option you wanna wish to go for that one. If you don't, you no problem. So this is, you can see the text scale, where is the text located, text direction, means how it looks like, text alignment, text. So these all are the properties what we can means arrange. We can make it italic, bold, and everything. That's what we were doing before from there. So now you can see that this is, say for example, because we are more concerned about the functionality, and you can play with these properties later on. There will be no issue at all. Okay, now what we need to do, now we need to go to the fragment A class. Okay, so we can go to the fragment A class, and we try to make the some sort of the changes with that one. Okay, so how we need to do means in the XML part first of all, and then we can come up with the other part as well. So you can see from here, if suppose we go for this fragment, in spread mode, so we can see, okay, this is how it looks like. Everything is okay. There is no problem. Okay, now we want to go with the fragment A class. So here we go. So what we are supposed to do in this fragment A means class. Okay, so you can see from here the information is that it is means extending the fragment A class to the fragment class because it is the superclass for that one. Now here we need to create the means on create view. That is what you means you were discussing in your tutorial part. That's the life cycle. So in this part, we are going to create the public view on create. So you can just start writing for that. It will means bring it for you. Public view on create view. So you can see from here, this is the public view on create view for you. So you can means go for this one and just press the enter. It will bring the information for you. Okay, so this is all of the information is in front of you. Now what is the next you are supposed to do? That you are not supposed to handle anything, but only this is the return value, what you wish to return from this. You just go and means delete up to this one, and we just delete this one. And here we need to call we need to add the means fragment. So for this we have the inflator. So you can see the inflator, and what it will do, it will inflate. What it inflate means the layout, because now today we are looking for the layout. So r.layout, so we can call layout. So what layout it need to do, because at this stage we have the fragment A layout. So as you can see from here, the fragment layout, and then it can use the container. So you know what's a container. Container means the place where we can means locate and show this one. And then we are just trying to make it means Boolean false. That is all about for the moment. And then it is one, it is extend. Okay, inflator is called, inflate, and everything. This is done. Now we need to go back to the means part, which is the part of our XML part or the design part for the fragment A, because this is the class one file. And now when we are going here, so in this we are just trying to make some of the changes. Okay, what are the changes? The most probably changes are from here, that we are just trying to change its color. Like suppose background color for this particular fragment, so we can call Android. Okay, and background, and you are very much aware about that, and you know that how we can go. So we can use the ff and 00, then the color will be appearing here. Now we can call this one, and you can use any color. We can use the one is pink to represent our ladies in our class, and the blue which will be representing to our gentlemen in our class. So which one is the pink, right? Maybe this one. Okay, because this is just only if I'm understanding, so not an issue. Okay, so you can see that the fragment A, you just continue seeing on my mouse pointer from the means this side as well. So this is fine. This is done. We just means make up this color. Now, what is the next is that anything or any change what we are means wish to change with the text view, if we required in this. So what do you suppose to have the changes in this one? Maybe not, or maybe yes. So we can see, just have a quick look. Yes, ID we have. Okay, this is have fragment A, the name we have, the alignment, text alignment, we call it in the center or the gravity. This is okay. The gravity means that we will specify from there. So this is okay. Text spacing is okay. Everything is here. So I believe nothing is means left from this part. So we can see we just apply the background color for this our fragment. We apply this one because we need this one to differentiate the both fragments from each other. So once we are done with this one, then we are done with its means code part as well. So now what is the next? The next is that now we are supposed to looking for the fragment B. Okay, because we have to have the fragment B as well now. So we don't have the fragment B now. So now for the fragment B, now what we need to do, recall, please recall. Okay, the thing what you remember when we added the fragment A, you remember I told you that we need to means right click here. And now, if you remember that I told you that when we will be adding the second fragment, I will not be clicking here, but I will be clicking at this position. So you notice and you try to see it, what could be the difference. I will let you know what is the difference as well. Okay. Now, no need to means code anything for the fragment B and in the main activity, like what we didn't did at this moment. Okay, so keep that point that we will not be doing anything, but we can need to create the fragment B because we want to have the two fragments. So if you will be able to create the two fragments, you can be able to create more than two fragments as well, if you understand this one, and you will see that how simple it is. Okay, so now for this fragment B, we are not supposed to click here, but we are supposed to click directly on the app, and we are just clicking to the right click this one. Okay, so now what happened that once we right click, that now we are ready to go for the new fragment. So in this fragment, what we need to do, right clicking on means the fragment A, and we need to add the blank fragment that will be the layout code for this as well. So you can see from here, if we are just going from this one and we are coming with the fragment, and this now we are just trying to add the blank fragment here. So you remember we for the previous one we added a class, we name it, then we added the layout file separately. I'm repeating again. For fragment A, we added the class separately, then we added the means layout file separately. So now you can see from here, we are just trying to add this one. So you can see it is taking us here, and we just rename this one, and we can say that this is the fragment B. And what else? Here is the layout. So fragment layout B, we just make them similar layout, and everything is okay, it's fine, and then we just say finish. So when we say the finish, whatever the code or whatever things are coming, not to be worried about that. Okay, not to be worried about that. You are not supposed to do anything with this one, but you just see and come with me with the left pan window. So from here, you remember that now the fragment B class automatically added and fragment B layout file is automatically added. So the previously what we did, we did actually that we added them separately. So now what we are supposed to do, here we can go and we just go and copy the entire code for fragment A. Okay, not to means do everything for this one, and then go for the fragment B, and this is the fragment B, and we just go in the code part and just do that, means select the all and just place the code. Okay, so now this fragment is ready, but there will be some issues. Some issues are what? Because here we copy and paste, so it is showing the fragment A as well. So we cannot have the means both of the text views in the same pattern. So for example, now when we copy and paste, we are supposed to make the some changes. So the one thing is that we can say fragment B. Okay. What else? You remember here we change its means entire background. So here we now need to change a different color as we can recognize that how it is. So now this is the part of, for the guy, so we can make it some sort of a blue. Maybe this one is good, but if suppose we make blue, then we will not be able to see the text color. Okay, maybe like this, something like this, something like this. At least we can see the text color, then we can fix it up. So now we are done with this one. Okay, now we have the means two fragments already, but when we run the application, we will not be able to means see anything. Okay, so fragment B layout is done, but now actually how to use them, how to call them, where are the fragments A and where are the fragment B? This is the most important now. So now we are supposed to go to the main activity, because these both of the fragments will be called in inside the main activity. So here is the main activity. You can see from here. Here are the main activity. And when we go to the main activity, so we can see that here the code is, means for the XML part, it is the text view and whatever the things are there, but we are not required to have the text view. So what we need to do, we are supposed to go here and see, this is the important, you need to understand this text view from here or from here, you can select from any part and then you can right click and you can remove it because we don't need this one. So you can see we want to delete this one. So there is no text view inside. Okay. The hello world is no inside, or you can delete from here wherever you want to delete. So this is now an empty activity because in this empty activity, we actually require to drag and drop our fragments. But when we drag and drop the fragments, you remember we discussed initially that we cannot use any control until and unless we have to have the layout. So at this stage, there is nothing here. So what we need to do, first of all, we need to go to the layout, and you can see from here that this is the linear layout, vertical. So you just means select this one and bring it, just drag and drop it here. Okay, the moment you drag and drop, so you can see that this is all is covered with this one. So now it means our app or our activity is covered with the linear layout. Now we need to add the fragments. Okay, so now how we need to add the fragments, you need to go to the container. Remember, so when we go to the container, so automatically whatever the controls are selected here, just means drag them down and you can find from the fragment here. Now, when you try to drag the fragment, the same like what you did for the linear layout, you will notice that what happened automatically, that the two of the fragments, what we already created, fragment A and fragment B, it will be shown here. So you just see here, sorry. So if you just see here, my goodness. So if I'm dragging them, if I'm trying to drag it here, when I reach here, it will show me the list. So it is showing me the fragment A and fragment B. So I can select the fragment A because we can add one by one. So I said fragment A. So you can see from here, the fragment A is appeared here. And now I can go back to do the same thing again, one more time. Now again, it will show me the list. Now I can select the fragment B and I can say, okay, so the fragment second will be here as well. But now if I just means if you just have a look for a design part, you can be able to see that these fragments are just at the top. Okay, they are means with the drag and drop, they are there, but they are not as what we were means able to see in our application. So for sure, this will be not because we need to now make the changes inside the activity to means looks like in a proper way and to be fixed in that. Okay, so now what we need to do, that we need to go back in our activity XML here. Now you will be able to see that the both fragments are there. So you can find from here. Now this is the fragment and this is the fragment one and fragment two, whatever. So these things are here. Now what we need to do, what type of the properties we are supposed to change. Okay, so those properties which we are supposed to change here, that is the most important, which will after that we will be able to means have the fragment in the right position. So while we will be changing, you can see on the right side from this window that what is going to be means effect to that particular part. Okay, so now you can see from here that in fragment one we are saying the layout width. Okay, this is before layout width we just go for the layout height. The layout height is the wrap content, but we are not looking for the wrap content, but we are saying that it may be in dps, and that is should be the 0 dp. The moment we do the 0 dp, it will show us the error. Why? Because 0 dp is not means in line with the layout width. So it means that layout width we have to change it as to make it 1. Okay, so when we make it 1, so now what happened, that in this one, this is the one, this is the one, we make it 1. So okay, this shouldn't be the dp, but it shouldn't be the, okay, no worries, just let's continue, it is making the wrong thing. Now what happened when I say it is 1, So you notice here what happened, what reaction was happened here. See in the screen. So we need to do the same thing for the other fragment as well. Okay. So we just go for the height, for this height to make it 0, make dp. So we can make it 0 dp. Okay. And then this is, we can make it rather to the match parent, we just make it 1. Okay, so when we make it 1, so now what happened actually, that it should be means clear and having the equal size for both of them. Okay, so now we just go up in the linear means frame, we just try to see that what is something or anything is means missing from there. So maybe that's why it is having the issue, that's why it's having the problem with us. So in a vertical, we can see that the Android linear layout, Android here, this is not the right position. So in linear layout, we can see that it should be uh, okay. The value should not be like this, but this value should be in the DP as well. Say, for example, we say 410 or 400 in DP. So we can say it's still there's some sizes left. So we can say 410. Yes, 410 dp. So this is the layout for the width, and for the height, how much it is may not be the match with the parent, but it is also, we can call this one, how much, maybe this is vertical is big, so 720 maybe, 720. Yes, so from the top, even we can make 725, just a little space there. Yes, that is the space there, so we can make it. And we need to make them means with the very absolute values, so it can be more good for us. So for example, we can add the 2 more values, that what we call the, sorry, okay, we can add the tools and then layout editor absolute. So the layout, the tools and the layout, a little bit lower, layout absolute, is it coming or not? If it's not, we can start typing continue, and layout editor, layout, layout editor, and absolute. Yes, absolute. For x-axis, we can give its value. For example, how much maybe exactly the 1 dp will be like this, and for the tools, we can give the same layout editor y-axis as well. We can even copy that one. Layout, why it's not showing? This is something making me slow. For absolute, hope we absolute for y-axis is equal to same 1 dp as well. Okay, so that's all about. We may not be require anything. In the fragment, we already make the Android layout height is the 0 dp. Yes, we already make it, and weight also 1. Okay, we, why it is not the width, we need to have the weight. So this will be match parent. Yes, that's the reason it is, it's giving us the error. Now we got it. We thought it's not the layout width, but it was the layout weight. So we are supposed to have the Android layout. What is this? The value I will show you right now. Layout underscore weight. Yes, this is the weight. This should be the one. Yes. So we make the mistake before. That's why it was showing. We got confused in width and weight. So when I place the one, so you can see that it is showing the whole screen is covered. So we need to make the corrections with this one as well. Yeah, this is the width actually. Okay, happy parent. Uh, okay, this will be red because it cannot work without that one, without the Android weight, and because we make it this changes Android layout, layout weight, and it should be the one as well. So now you notice that the red is gone. So we got confused actually within the weight and width. So width is something different and weight is something different. Okay, everything okay. Now we believe that this is showing the accordingly, and this is also showing accordingly. So we can go to run the product to see how it's working. And meanwhile, please make yourself ready for attendance, because you remember last time after 11:30 it was not allowing us to go for the attendance. So please quickly be ready for that. Where it is. Okay, here we go. Yes, please be ready, your machines. And here we go. This is the code SP7MRA. For your ease, I can copy this one because we will be working. Yeah, that's great, David. So we can. That's great. That's great. You can take 1 minute to spend. That means do it quickly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, our program is going to be load. Yes, 18 are done. How many out of you are present? Sorry. 34 are present. Okay. And the text I can use copy for you as well. And come on, my machine, what happened? Be quickly. Why so slow? Just because of Android. So the code is here, and 34, 28. Okay, that's great. Only few are left. Meanwhile, we can see the output here as well. So see here, the output is the fragment A and the fragment B. So this is all means done. Now you remember I told you quickly, please finish the attendance so we can go back to the code. So as I told you that what is the weight? Okay, the weight is actually like suppose see from here, I just stop this one and then I just say for fragment one, I make the weight not one but two, where we got the confused for this one. And for this, I'm gonna keep one. One is one. Okay, no problem. So now when I run it, and we can keep it here, and meanwhile we can go there, so you can finish your attendance. Yeah, please finish the attendance. It's still 4 or 5 students are left. My goodness, just click it quickly. Don't need it. Yeah, come. Thank you. So see now, when we make the changes, we make it two. Yeah, please finish the attendance first. We make it two, this one, then you can notice that what is the difference. The difference is, that is the weight is actually the ratio, size as per the ratio. So when we place the one in one, it means the both of the fragments will be having the same size. We will place the three and one, so it means the three times fragment will be this one, or two times fragment will be this one, or four times this one. So this will be with that ratio. It can means make the size that how much it can be. Okay, so this is how the weight is defined, and weight can handle the fragment size. Now each of the fragment is actually at its own place. That is means considered as an independent activity, and you can do everything with that one. So if we just go back, please finish the attendance. The few students that is left, the time will be over. So now if we just make the one and one, So you can see that automatically it will be means resize and it is coming with the same size. Okay. So now this is
Hello,
the,
sir.
yes, please.
Uh, can I see the code, the upper code?
Yes, this is the code, please.
No, no, no.
SP.
I mean the XML code.
Yeah. The
Sorry.
code here, we just stop this one so you will be able to see. Okay, this is the code. Even we can do that so it will be easy for you. See this one. Okay, so we didn't did anything. Okay, we just drag the linear layout and we just means make this absolute so they can be means even if suppose you don't use this one, it's not a big deal. Okay, so you can use the different options, and this fragment id is the fragment means id, you remember we always require, and this is the default value for its name, and this is the width. Here where we were making the mistake. So this is the match with parent, and this is the layout height, and this is the layout weight. So if we place a weight one and the one for the other fragment as well, so it means it will be having the means same size. If we will do the two and one, then this will be bigger and that will be, so this is only the ratio. Now, if suppose if you allow me, we just go to, this is the means everything in the activity main what we are doing. If you just allow me to go for the fragment A XML, so here you can see we didn't did anything. We just means apply its name and its properties and its text and size and how it looks like, and only the visibility properties and background color. The same thing, you remember, we just try to copy and paste in this one. And here we just change the name and we change the color. Other than these two things, we didn't did anything. Now, when we go back to the main activity in the class file, you remember we did not did anything, any part, any code for this one. When we go for the fragment B, we did not did anything, any part, any single word we did not mention or we didn't write anything in this B. Whatever we did, we just means do that in the fragment A. Okay, I'm just repeating as while you will be having the video so you can see, so you can means understand. It's very truly simple. And then what we are doing here, we are just writing the means this is the only code, and we are just means calling the on create means layout inflator, and in this we are supposed to return the value through the inflator so it can inflate, and it is calling the referencing to the layout. That's very truly simple and truly easy for you, and you can see from here from the design and all of the aspects and all of the parts. So if you just go to the design, and we just go to the display part, so you can see that how simple this one is. Now, do remember here, before we go to the next point, do remember here that we can add the fragments using the two different ways. We can do the fragment either by using this way, that is what is the known as the design pattern in the design way, or this is also known as the XML way. The other way is where we can means add the fragments by using the code that is known as the runtime. Please push up the attendance because the time after 2 minutes system will be shut down for the attendance. Okay, so it shows that few more students you can message them so they can be there. Okay, so now this is how the fragment is working, and this is the layout. How you can see that we can use the means multiple layouts inside the one other layout. Now, how you can submit your assignments normally? Because whenever you just go to close this project, so you can find a folder and it contains, and it will be hard for you to how to go that one. So when you make a means APK file, so APK is actually an executable application. If we make an APK, and then that will be only a single file, so you can upload that file using the means email, using the any cloud version, or you can use this upload to the Times. So now to unwired for your tutorials, for your labs, and for everything, we can be able to see from there, and it means that we can just copy paste in our mobile, and we can be able to run it, and we can see the output. That will be not means containing all the code and everything. That's what is happening from the Google Play Store whenever we are installing the applications. So actually we are installing the APK, we are not having the code and these things. And it's very simple. It's very simple. So you just see from here, we are moving towards our second point. So when we go from here, so you can find from the top menu, there is an option for build. Okay. So from build, you can see here that when we reach here, so here it can means let us know that build the bundle or the build APKs. Okay. And just below here is the one other option. It's known as the generate the sign bundle. What is the difference between both of them? Today we will means discuss about this, and then later at the end of the semester we will discuss about this as well. This is actually when we are this option generate signed bundle is actually when we are done with our application and now we are planning to upload it at the Google Play Store. At that time we need this version. Okay, and this is somewhat means with little in detail one, that how we can prepare, and then it will make our application ready, apply the security and the passwords and other all of the details, and then we are able to upload that one. But this is the general APK we can means build right now. You can see from here, I'm just going to this one and making this one here. So once we click this one, you need to just wait for a few minutes. Your APK will be ready, and then it will mention you that here is the APK. You can go and see from the location. And then your means task or whatever it is, you can fix it up and you can complete your task. You can generate the APK, and then you can just only upload that APK. There will be a very small file, so there will be no issue like this. So now you can see from here the build APKs is ready. The APKs generated successfully. Okay, it's normally generate one file, two files, three files like that. It depends. So you can see now the APK is generated successfully for one of the module app. If you want to locate that one, so this is the means place where you just click this one. So you can see from here that this is already done. It is there in APK debug APK. So now you can just only copy this one and you can upload this one at the times when you are submitting your lab assignment, your tutorial assignment, or your means lecture what we are doing. So this will be means as a sort of the exe file, sort of the means output. So we can be able to check, we can see that how the things are working. So this is the way how we can generate the APK. And the signed APK, we will do it at the end. Now, one of the students asked a question through the email that it is mentioned in the assignment that actually we are supposed to upload the applications APK at the Google Play Store, and it involves the cost. I didn't reply to that gentleman because I thought that I will reply in the class so everybody can be knowing about that. That is the optional, just for your means learning purpose. Okay, it is not necessary that you are supposed to pay the $25 because that has a $25 cost. Okay, if you will be able, if you wish to go for that, then maybe I can create account for you. I can pay $25 and then you can use my account and then you can upload just for your experience. Otherwise, it is totally optional. That is the second thing. Now I hope that you are able to know that how we can do that one and how everything. Now we are going to the next step about the time
Hello,
picker.
sir.
Yes, please.
Actually, mine got error. The uh, it said missing constraints in constraint layout. Do I need to add the constraints, sir?
Uh, until I cannot have a look on your code, I cannot means advise you. So just we finish the means things first. As we then after that you can share the screen with me. We will fix it up. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, now we are just going to close this one. So now be attentive for that particular part. I will be sharing the code with you as well. So here we go. We are just going to close this project. Okay, and now I'm just going to share with you the TPC. This the code, because I was knowing that we will not have enough time to address all these things. And as you remember, I told you that in the upcoming classes when we will be having to discuss more things, then I will explain you, but we will not be able to write the code from the scratch just to save a time and cover the things more. So I did that, and I did with this intention for your ease of understanding. So for that, I put the comments at each of the level. I will show you the code, and then I just try to intentionally make some error. Just only I can give you the hint as well that that is the only at the one point I will show you, and you can be able to see that one, and you can try to go through with this one and try to enable that part as well. So first of all, we just go that, for that particular part, as you can see, so you can understand well. And then I will, take you back. So you just see from here. Now we are here. Just wait for the Gradle to be done. Yeah, it's done, I believe. So now once it's done, so we can go to run it. Here is our application. It is still running. Gradle is building. Done. Zero errors. Okay. Okay, it's installed successfully, and this is the application. Okay, so you can see right now I can place it here, no problem. It is means more easy for you. So you can see from this one the time. This is a time picker. The icons we used means drawable icons and everything. When I click this one, so it show me the timer means automatically. So you can see we can means rotate it like what we are using in our normally cell phones. Say for example, I'm saying that right now I'm wishing that the time is the not the 12, but say for example any two, and how many minutes means 5 minutes or something. It is 8 a.m. or p.m. whatever it is. Okay, so the moment I can select that one, so now you can see from this one when I say okay, so remember it's 2 5 a.m. So when I say 2 5 a.m., so now the time is applied here. When I click to this again, so if I just want to change with this one 3 or something, and then the timer, it means it's showing me the timer. When I click this one, it show me the time picker in a different format. Okay, that was a digital and this is analog. I can do whatever the time I can. Okay, say for example 9. So what is the primary task for this one? So when I select from here AM or whatever it is the timer here, so say for example I select whatever it is, say for example this one, I say okay, so it should show me this one. So this is a great hint for you. So it is working, everything is okay. I just put intentionally something for you people. Okay, so you notice here it shows me the output, and here it is selected, everything is done, is 9 and everything, but when I select, it is not showing here. This is intentionally stopped by me. Okay, so I will share with you the complete, not only the APK, but I will share the means folder uploaded on the Times by making it zip, so you can be able to download and you can go through with this one, and you can see that how and why this is not displaying. I will give you the further means hints as well to you, so you can see that how it is and why it is not working. Okay, now you can see from here, if we just go to the Java folder, in the Java folder, so you can find out that here is the main activity that what we are open, and the code is there. I will explain you the code as well. It's simple, very simple, not an issue. And here you can see in the, sorry, not here, but resource folder. So here in the resource folder, the layout is only the one file, which is actually because we have the one, so this is why it's one. Okay, I will share with you the whole program, so you will be having all of the things. So I can show you the one thing here. So you can see from here how we use this means clock. You see from this clock, so you can see from here that how we can use this clock. This is here. We can see from here, this is from the Android drawable top. So this is IC time. Okay, so this is the line which is actually means giving us this one. But how we add this one, we just go to the means drawable. Here you can see in the drawable, this is the IC launcher background is already there. These things are already there. This is the IC XML. This is what we added. Okay, so you can see from here, this is what we added. Okay, so how you can do that, how you can add that, the code is already with you here as well. You can make any changes in that as well. Okay, so you can see from here, if you just go from the new, and if suppose you want to go to the new of the drawable resources, but here because we are going to the something it's known the 1 minute activity vector. This is the vector asset. Okay, so you can click from this one, and you can call to the vector. I said this is how we added already. So you can see from here, this is we took it from the clip art. Okay, so you can click on the clip art. Let me just move from here. So you can select from the clip art like this. So you see this is how we edit. But in case if suppose you wanna choose this one, you wanna select from the clip art. So you just select this clip art, and from here you can search whatever the icons here they are. So you can use this any icon. So I use this icon. You see from here the timer. When I say to take the time, so this sign was in actually it was in black and white. When I change the color from here, okay, so I can choose the color from here to make it green. You can do anything, and then also I change the size from here like 24. If suppose I make it 20, the initial size it was very small enough. So by doing this, make it next, 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 and make these changes. And once you are done with this one, so whatever the name you will suggest, like I suggested as the IC underscore time. So you can see from here, this is how this will become a part of your drawable. And once it become a part of your drawable, then you are able to call this one. Okay, this is the hint if suppose you want to add in the future in your applications. That's something new. So that's why I'm explaining to you this new thing. Okay, the rest of the things you can see that these things are the same, bold, font, everything, text view, and everything is the same. Now we're going towards the activity. Now in activity, the things are same, but what I did to apply the what we can call the comments, okay, for your easy understanding. I can explain you quickly. You can see from here that here we are initializing the variable. So you can see from the comments. So whatever the variables we are, that's what we are doing already. The same thing we are doing here. Then here we are assigning the variable by find by ID. That's the same thing. Then here we are initializing the time picker dialog. So you can see from here is what we are doing. The time picker dialog is there. We just initialize it one. And then we are applying the values in the hours of the day, hours and minutes. So we can apply here the initialize the hours and the minutes. So the T1 hours and the T1 minutes. So this is the hours of the day and minutes of the day. And then we are going for the initializing the calendar. So the calendar has been initialized here. And then we are setting the hours and minutes. So calendar.set. So you can write here while you will be start writing. Don't write the year and like this. You just write the 0, 0, 0. Automatically, this will be set to the year, month, and these values will come automatically. And then we are applying the parameters, giving the values. One means this is time between hours and minutes only. Then we have set the selected time on the text view. So you see everything is given here. Now the actual game is start from here. Set the select time. So you remember that the TV1 timer, this is the we have the two controls. You remember here? We have the two controls. Sorry, not for the drawable, but for the source file here. Two controls. This one is the TV1. You can see from here. This one, the top one is the TV1. Okay, this is the TV1 timer, and the next one is the TV1 2 timer. So there are the only two controls where we are displaying the information. Okay, now we can go for that. And that in that we want to display. So TV1 timer, again, I put the comments for everything so you can understand in what format we are going to display. So you can see from here, hours and the minutes, display the previously selected time. So again, this is dialog box. We are passing the value and the time picker dialog is here. So now we are going for the TV2, timer 2 for the next one. So again, this code and this code, I can give you the more big hint for you. This code and for the TV1 and TV2 is almost same. Okay, a minor variation. So it means the second one is showing the time. The first one must show the time as well. Okay, so you can see that how and where we make the changes. So in this, if suppose you see here is the hint, like suppose this is not the comment, but here is the hint. This is the part of the code. I'm giving you the hint. This is the part of the code. When you remove this one, it will show you the error. The TV1 timer set text, it is not showing the timer. So something is here intentionally is done for you. So you can fix it up. Then the first one TV timer will also be able to show you the code. So in other words, we can say that the TV timer 2, which is start from here, that's what it is functioning and is showing the code. So you can see from here, you will find it is same. So this can help you as well. So from here, you can see this is the TV timer 2 on means click listener. So if you just allow me, I can take you above. So you can see from here TV1 timer on set click listener. So this is the same everything you see that we are following here for the TV timer 2 because the things are the same. So listener, then the time picker dialog, and then everything is same. And we are here, we are saying only the T2 and T2 minutes. Here you remember we were saying T1 and T2, sorry, T1 hours and T1 minutes. So the same things are here because we are just repeating this thing. And here is the time zone is in means we are applying a variable where we are means using the time in 12 hours format, and then we are applying the pattern of the format. Okay, and then we are coming up here applying try and catch, and then we are doing and calling this one, and finally we are showing this one in the dialog. So this is how we are calling. This is for the second means part of the functionality. So this is the same thing here. I can give you the one more hint even for this one, that this is something the intentionally the problem what is means being there, that is something related to the format. So now the code everything is there. Only you are supposed to, if you will remove the comments from this line, then it will not means run the program. It will show you the code, and that sorry error that we are supposed to means can be quickly fix it up. It's easy. I give you the code. I will give you the code and give you the hints and everything, and all of the 10 things are already applied with the comments as well. So you can see for each line, these are the comments. These are the comments that what it's explaining that what we are going to do next. These are the comments. So just see. I will try to do in this same way because in the less of the time we cannot write the program all, but this will be in this way. So we'll explain to you as well, so you can be able to understand easily and can do that one. So again, if we suppose run this application, it is running already. So now you can see from this. Okay, so you can see that this is means working fine. Whatever you can means rotate it with if you have touch screen or whatever it is. So AM or PM, whatever. Okay, so 3 o'clock. This is fine. And this is also working. Everything is working. Just not only it is displaying the value. Please come here. Okay, but it's not displaying the value. So that is your part to make it confirm that how it will be. This is a little challenge for you. Okay, it's very simple already. Everything is there, but not to be worried about that. So that is means done. I will upload this means code, complete code for you on the means times after the class, and then you will be able to use that one. So that is all about the class now. And now after that, we will be going to discuss about your midterm part, and we will discuss about the rest of the things. So here we go. We may finish the recording because lecture is over, and it will be having a sort of means duration good, so we can upload it easily. Okay,